Thanks for joining us again on Sunlight Radio Online. This is Akwesi Apong coming to you live. It's Thursday evening and we are so excited that you've made time in your day to join us. We are very glad that we've all been blessed with another wonderful week. We're very excited and we hope that the past week has been wonderful and you're enjoying some of the great things that are coming all our way in so many small packets of blessings. And it's always important that we identify the good things that are happening so that we can show gratitude, because as we always say, whatever we appreciate. So we have to show gratitude for the things that are going well. And I am very excited for another opportunity to provide you with tools and resources that will help you to develop your relationship, especially your marriage, and to make sure that you're bringing that to the point where you can enjoy life with your spouse. And having said that, that's the name of our ministry, Enjoy Life with Your Spouse, and we have a website by the same name, enjoylifewithyourspouse.com. We also do have a Facebook page. You can always join us, and we archive all the recordings from the show on the website as well, so you can always go back and find resources that can help you enjoy life with your spouse. We do have a phone number which is open for text messages only, and that number is 240-772-1420. We are very grateful that you've made time to join us, and we will be right back. Hello, thanks for coming back. We are grateful that you've made time to join us. This is a great time for you to reach out to some of your friends and family, let them know we're live. This is for everyone. If you're getting married or you're in a season of life in your marriage, we can all use some resources, and we do our best to put together very relevant resources that can help you equip yourself to ensuring that you are doing well in your marriage. Today we have a wonderful topic to discuss, and as I've said earlier, if you want to contribute, if you want to ask a question, send us a text message. Our line is open. The phone number for that is 240-772-1420, and we will be happy to read your comment or your question, and also do our very best to provide an answer. So as we get into what we have today, we are going to specifically talk about emotional intelligence in marriage. This is a very, very interesting one. Emotional intelligence in marriage. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners and a lot of people know what emotional intelligence is. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. We are going to see how over the years researchers have found that if we are emotionally intelligent, if we're emotionally stable, it helps us so much when it comes to our relationship. And I want to correct this. Emotional intelligence does not mean emotionally stable. I use that, loosely. But the point here is that emotional intelligence is far more than just, being emotionally stable. We will get into the details of that. So I'm sure a lot of you will ask, what is emotional intelligence? Let's break it down. Dr. John Gotham, who is one of the renowned psychologists. He's done extensive research into marriage, and he actually said that married couples who are happier are not any smarter, richer, or more, I guess, wiser than the rest of us. But what sets them apart is that they have the ability to keep their negative thoughts and feelings about each other, which is normal with all couples, from overwhelming their positive ones. Think about this for a second. So Dr. John Gotham is saying here that what separates successful couples from those who are struggling is that the successful couples have the ability to keep their negative thoughts and feelings down from overcoming the positive thoughts and feelings about themselves and also about their spouse. So this is a very key point here when it comes to emotional intelligence. So your ability to control what you think or how you feel about your spouse, irrespective of what they're doing, it's a big yardstick as to how well emotionally intelligent you are. So this leads us to ask the question, what are some of the things that I can do to build my emotional intelligence? We are going to get that. We're going to get to that. Emotionally intelligent couples have what we call, the intelligence they need to have a great marriage. A happy marriage is an emotionally intelligent one. It includes two partners who are committed to both self and other awareness. So they are committed to developing themselves emotionally and also helping their spouse also develop. If you know who you are, it's working and managing yourself. So the first point that I want to think about when it comes to emotional intelligence, that you have to know who you are as an individual. You have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to know what you like, what you do not like. You have to know, be comfortable with who you are as a human being, the way you look, the way you sound, everything, and then also even where you are in your state in life, whether you are where you need to be in your career or not. You learn to be comfortable with that. It is also working and learning to manage yourself. So the number one point is knowing who you are when it comes to emotional intelligence. The second thing is learning to know how to work and manage yourself. A lot of people struggle with that, where they don't know how to manage themselves. We all have pet peeves, things that we do that sometimes doesn't live up to expectation of our spouses. But your ability as an individual to learn to manage yourself, to hold yourself back at certain times, or maybe to push yourself forward when it comes to certain things. You might not like doing those things, but your ability to say that I know I need to do this because it's going to help myself, it's going to help my community or my society or my spouse. As a result of that, you make yourself do it. And that is a sign of somebody who is emotionally intelligent. Knowing that you live in a society and what you do or don't do matters is also a sign of somebody who is very emotionally intelligent. You are aware that in the society in which I live, there are rules, there are people who depend on us, there are obligations, there are things that we all do to make sure that we have a successful society or community. And our awareness of that makes us very intelligent. So we are not just living our lives saying that, I don't care about what happens, as long as my problems are solved, then I'm good. We have to be aware of the society in which we live. It is also knowing that you are in a relationship and that there are things you have to do or not do in the relationship. That is also a key part of being emotionally intelligent. Knowing that I'm in a relationship and I have to work on my relationship. I have to invest in my relationship. I have to know that the things that I do or do not do will greatly impact my relationship. So the knowledge of these four things is the bedrock of being emotionally intelligent. The knowledge and the ability to apply the right decisions on the things that surround us. And as we move along today, we're looking at this in the context of marriage. So as we go down, we're going to be drilling this down really to make sure that we are applying all these four areas to marriage. So in the strongest marriages, husbands and wives share a deep sense of meaning. They don't just get along, they also support each other, their hopes, their aspirations, and they help build a sense of purpose, into their lives and also to build their lives together. The more emotional, intelligent couples, the better are able to understand, honor, and respect each other. So that's another point for you again when it comes to emotional intelligence in marriage. Your ability to understand, honor, and respect each other shows how emotionally intelligent you are. We live in a society today that there's a lot of self-centeredness, a lot of selfishness when people tend to think about themselves and what they can get and what they can do, how it will benefit them. But here we're being called to show honor, respect, and also understanding. And those are some of the bedrocks that show that a person is very emotionally intelligent. How do you become emotionally intelligent in your marriage? That's, I'm sure, the question on a lot of our minds. So the answer to that is, it starts by building your emotional vocabulary. A lot of psychologists and scientists believe that one of the key issues in marriages that bring a lot of conflict is communication, our ability to communicate well. And when I say communication, it's not just about what you say, it's also your ability to listen and make sure that you understood what was said. So when it comes to this topic, it's very important that we build the vocabulary, the words that we need to speak well to our spouses, to ensure that we are applying the rules of emotional intelligence. So we're going to go through some of these things to really help us to get to the bottom of that. This means that you are able to fully describe how you feel, and your spouse, to your spouse, the way you feel yourself, whether you're happy, sad, angry, depressed, or tired. It will surprise you to know that a lot of us don't have the vocabulary we need to even describe the way we feel. There's a book, there's a couple called the Malkovich. They wrote this book titled Your Lifestyle. This is not Your Love Languages, this is Your Lifestyle. You can search this up. It's a wonderful book that helps you to understand your emotions and also your style of love, how you respond to love. And for some people who grew up in homes where, they didn't hear too much of I love you or be made to feel special, they tend not to respond to that. And this is something that, scientists have studied over the years, and it's quite true that the way we respond to love, the way we respond to emotions has a direct bearing with how we were brought up. But the truth is that we can learn these things. And emotional intelligence is one thing that we can learn. Everything can be learned, including the good and the bad. But in this case, we want to learn some good things, So when you feel an emotion, dig deep to understand what is behind that feeling. If, let's say, you're angry, One of the first things for, emotional intelligence people will typically do is to ask themselves, why am I feeling angry? And they try to dig deep to realize that, oh, it's because of what happened at work today. Or it's because I'm tired. I've been waking up too early. I need to get some rest. Emotional intelligent people can really play things back and say, this is why I'm feeling this way, so this is what I need to do to change my attitude. But most too often, when people are angry, they take it upon other people, especially their spouse or their children or people around them, and they only see anger. But they are not careful to really play back, take their steps back to really identify what is causing that emotion. And our ability to do that will really help us a lot in becoming very much in control with our emotions. It will help us with our relationship. Studies show that people who are emotionally intelligent do well at work. They get more promotions. They are more leaders who they play more leadership roles, and they are also very well connected in their community. So it's very important that we understand these emotions and how they affect us. So before we get into any more details, we're going to take a short break. And as I've said, if you want to contribute, ask a question, our lines are open. The number is 240-772-1420. Again, my name is Kwesi Apong, and this is Sunlight Radio Online, and this is Couples Date Night. We will be right back. Hello, and thank you for joining us again. This is Sunlight Radio Online. My name is Kwesi Apong, and today we are talking about emotional intelligence and how it applies to marriage, our relationships. This is a big one. This is one of those that, tools that if we're able to learn this, it's going to save us so much heartache and avoid a lot of conflict, and really bring us to the point of enjoying our life with our spouses. So let's walk through this as we go along, and I'm sure that you are taking notes and really learning everything that you need to learn. So moving right along, we have talked about what emotional intelligence is, the 4 aspects of them. Now we're looking at how it directly applies to marriage. Now I want to make a recommendation. There's a lot of resources that I learn myself. I read or I listen to audiobooks. I tend to use audiobooks quite a bit because with our busy lives sometimes it really comes in handy. The title of the book is Emotional Intelligence 2.0. And this book is free. It's actually available on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and you type Emotional Intelligence 2.0, you will find it. It was written by Travis Bradbury and Jean Graves. It's a wonderful audiobook. It's quite a long one. It's probably 4 hour plus. So I tend to listen to it when I'm driving or when I get up early and I still have some time to lay in bed. I tend to like to listen to that. Listen to that. It's going to give you so many resources that not just for your relationship but for your career, for your life as an individual. It's really going to help you understand yourself and really help you to get through some of the emotions that we are not able to process. So that is one of the key recommendations that I would like to make. So Self-management. I'm going to break things down. So one of the aspects of emotional intelligence is self-management. How are you able to manage yourself? Skills that are more about you. How are you able to manage yourself? So managing yourself is your ability to say that, what I'm doing, it's not right, I have to stop, or this is not a right time to go out with friends, or this is not a good decision to make. You are doing it based on wisdom and not just how you feel or the fact that doing that is good or makes you feel great, but you base it on wisdom and knowing that if I make this decision, the results might not be good. And you're not looking at just the short-term excitement or satisfaction that it brings to you. You're thinking about the long term to know that if this is the right thing to do. Now, the other one, as I said earlier, is the self-awareness. We've talked a little bit about self-awareness, you becoming aware, being aware of yourself and who you are. And then the third one is social awareness, being aware of your society and the people around you. And then the fourth one is relationship, your ability to manage your relationship and the people who are close to you. So here are a few ways that you can raise your emotional intelligence in your relationship. So we're drilling it even deeper. So these are things that you can do. Now, some of these resources come from a resource online called Good Therapy. So that's where I got some of these resources in addition to some of the research that I did. So make friends with your feelings. Identify that you are feelings and identify what your feelings are and what triggers them. This is very important. A lot of people are able to do that. For example, that when I'm very tired, I get upset very easily. If you know that, if you know you're going to get into, you're going to go somewhere where there are people or there are things that can get you upset, make sure you take a nap before you go. That's emotional intelligence. You are armed with that knowledge about yourself that, I don't do very well when I'm very tired, I've had a long day, or I'm not very well rested. So before you put yourself in a situation that will trigger anger and feelings that you do not want, take care of it by getting some rest. I've said over that Joel Austin said some time ago that the most spiritual thing you can do is to sleep. It's amazing what a little bit of an afternoon nap can do. It can calm tensions and relieve stress and build your emotional intelligence. So take some time away from your partner if necessary. And by saying that, I mean when you realize that you are in an emotional fog, go to another room, go outside, sit outside a little bit, and then get back in touch with your emotions, get back in touch with yourself, and identify where you are and what is going on. This will help you to understand what is causing you to feel the way you're feeling. In marriage, each person can use self-awareness to make their relationship work better. So what is self-awareness? It is, a couple of things that you are not used to or you don't like to do, but you want to do it in the interest of your spouse, with a big smile. That's what I put in my notes, with a big smile. So let's say hypothetically there's a husband called Kofi who does not like doing dishes, but he decides, I'm going to do dishes because it makes my wife's day. So guess what? He does it with a smile. Deep down, he doesn't like doing it, but he will do it because he knows it goes a long way to make his wife happy. And as they say, happy wife, happy life. So he will make sure that he does it. So that is the part of self-awareness. So moving right along, there's a story of a gentleman called, it's a lady in a relationship, Michelle. So who said that I really messed up by not celebrating the birthdays of his wife of a husband in a grand style, So And this is because when he was growing up, sorry, she was growing up, Michelle was growing up, that wasn't the case in her house, parties, birthdays were not celebrated in a grand style. So when she got married, her husband grew up in a home where that wasn't the case. They had a cake and they celebrated and all that. So being aware of this, you decide that, you know what, even though in my home that wasn't the situation, in my wife's home that's the situation. Whilst you cannot bring a live band to sing happy birthday to your spouse to make it the way it was when she or he was growing up, you can still do something to really show that you are celebrating with her, you are in the moment, you are really being part of the process. So these are some of the little things that we can do to really help us really become aware of areas in our lives that we don't feel like or don't want to do certain things, but taking those steps will really help us to really build our relationship. Some of the questions you can ask is there a history of a feeling that has been with you in a long time? Give yourself permission to feel angry, hurt, afraid. Your feelings to do that will define you and help you to know who you are as a person. So getting upset, it's okay, but if you act in the right direction, you really put yourself on the path of really feeling better and really channeling your emotions in the right way. It's a way that will really help you win and also help you to develop very good emotional intelligence. I've always said time and often that fire is a great thing. Fire is what makes cars move. I'm sure maybe with electric engines, electric cars, you might not say so, but there's still a little bit of that in there. Fire is what makes planes fly. It cooks your food, but it can also burn your fingers, So if it's channeled right, we get the full benefit of it. Yeah, the other thing is mindfulness. Mindfulness allows you to regain a measure of control over yourself so that you can bring your best self home to those who love you most. Mindfulness, being present, thinking deep about yourself and the people who depend and trust in you. The next thing is learning to calm down. Negative feelings have a way of overwhelming us and clouding our judgment. So our ability to learn to calm ourselves down, it's another great sign of showing emotional intelligence. When you're flooded with negative perspective about an issue, it is difficult to be objective and look at things in a balanced way or in a selfish way or ways that takes only you into consideration. But your ability to stand back and say, I'm not in this alone. I have people who depend on me. I have people who love me. So I'm going to take myself out of this and make sure that I'm approaching this in a way that will benefit all of us. We have to learn to decrease our tension by taking a break from the problem, and I think we've already said that. Relax your mind and body with activities you enjoy, such as listening to music, reading, walking, and meditating. So what we're arriving at here is that we all face certain challenges in our lives, in our jobs. Things come at us as human beings. But your ability to stop and say that I see the problem, I see what's going on, I am not going to let this issue take my happiness, steal my joy, cause me to be upset and say things that I'll later regret. So you are stopping the issues now in its track before it gets overwhelming, before it gets out of control. So we always have to take those steps, to turn towards our partner, and also be able to say that, this is how I'm feeling, because I've identified the way I'm feeling, and these are the steps that I've taken, and you're ready to really begin a very productive conversation with your spouse. Express your need in an assertive but non-aggressive way. So there are little things that we can do. Most too often, we fail to do the work, and it doesn't take a whole lot to get us to that point where we can really bring us to that point of making sure that we are emotionally intelligent. Try to listen to your partner. I talked a little earlier about listening, without interrupting. Acknowledge and validate your spouse's feelings. The last time we talked about validation. That's another resource you can go back and listen to. So listening is a key part. Even your ability to listen to your spouse when you really want to say something is a sign of emotional intelligence. It shows that we are growing in how we manage our emotions. We are able to hold ourselves down. That's the first point, self-awareness. We know how to say that, I want to say something, but this is a time for my spouse to speak. So these are some of the things that we can do in our relationship that will help us to really build emotional intelligence. We have a couple more for you. Don't go anywhere. And again, we're about halfway through our show. We do have a phone number you can contribute if you have a question or comment. It's 240-772-1420. Again, my name is Akwesi Opong. This is Sunlight Radio Online, and this is our show called Couples Date Night. We do have resources for you on our website. It's called Enjoy. It's www.enjoylifewithyourspouse.com. Thank you, and we will be right back.